Good morning, students. Today we will continue our chapter 2, question answers of Nelson Mandela. This is from our first flight book, right? So here we go. That uh, first question is like this: what do the military general? This is from the thinking about the text. Okay. What do the military general do? How has their attitude changed and why? Beta, he is talking about that thing that if the military general sees him some other day, instead of that day when he is going to take oath, he will put him inside the jail. Okay. And how has their attitude changed? Because now Nelson Mandela is having power. That's why his attitude changed toward the Nelson Mandela. Now he is saluting to the Nelson Mandela. Right? So answer is like this. The highest military general of South Africa Defense Forces and Police saluted. South Africa Defense Forces and Police salute and pledge their loyalty to Mandela. Right? They are pledging, they are taking an oath that they will always be loyal toward which? Toward Nelson Mandela. Right? Toward the government. This was of great significance because during the apartheid era, they have their self organizes the apartheid era. That apartheid era means separation of the white and the black peoples, right? They would have arrested him and put him behind bars. If I told you na, that if some other day, if the military general of South Africa sees him, he will put him behind the bars, right, or into the jail. Their attitude toward blacks changed due to the struggle and sacrifice. Why the attitude changed? Because of the power, because of the struggle, sacrifices. Who did this? Who black peoples did a lot of the sacrifices, a lot of the struggles. Okay, that were put in by many heroes of South Africa. I have told you that 6 freedom fighters are there and they all contributed in all these type of things just to make them free from all these struggles, and they sacrificed their life, right? The struggle for freedom was not just a struggle with apartheid. It also brought a massive change in the mindset of many people. Massive change means huge change into the mindset of the people. Right? Mandela believed that love is something that could be taught and human beings are naturally inclined. What is the thinking of the Mandela? That love is natural. So love can be taught, love can be inclined. We can say always the theories like this that if you speak in a more polite way, in a more good way, the front people will accept your thoughts, will listen to your thoughts, right? So inclined toward love more rather than hate. So each and every person will be inclined toward the more polite person rather than the arrogant person, right? This is all about the first question. I hope it is clear to you. Now, the second one: why were two national anthems sang? Why better two national anthems sang? Because they want to show the equality between the both peoples, between the white and the black peoples, right? So, first we have to mention the name of the both national anthems, right? On the auspicious occasion of the inauguration ceremony, two national anthems were sung. The white sang Nkosi Sikili El Afrika and Black sang Die Stamp. That was the old anthem of the Republic. Right? Singing of both the anthems symbolize the equality of rights between whites and the black. What symbolizes? Equality of rights between the white and the blacks. Clear? Now the third question. How does Mandela describe the system of government in his country? So, Mandela tell us about that which kind of system followed into the South Africa. Okay, now the first one, this question is divided into two parts. For the first decade of the first part of the 20th century, and the final decade, and the last part of the 20th century. Right, Vita? So how in the first decades they are doing a kind of we can say partiality between the white and the black peoples, but in the last, what they, regardless of their color, complexion, etc., etc., they are not any facing now any kind of the impartiality doing by the whites. Okay, because in the last decades, Nelson Mandela became the Prime Minister of the South Africa. So, answer is like this: in the first decades of the 20th century, the white-skinned peoples of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial dominance, patched up, fixed up, that we are the white peoples, we are having a lot of the rights instead of you black peoples, and we will rule over you. Okay, so erected system of first of the racial dominance, dominations against the dark skinned peoples of their own land. Okay, they are also belonging from their own land. The white and black peoples both are belonging from their land only, from South Africa only. But instead of that, they just differentiate them just because of the color combination. This created the basis of one of the harshest, most inhumane societies the world has ever seen or known. Okay, they did a lot of the attempts just to down. Okay, so they are becoming more harsh, they are becoming more inhumane. Okay, some things which can't be done by the humans, they are also doing with the black people's society the world has ever seen or known. The final decades of the 20th century. Now here, the answer of the in the final decades of the 20th century, the previous system of government had been overturned forever. Why overturned forever? Because and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedom of all people, regardless of the color of their skin. Now, the partial decision taken by the government and the fair decision done by the public peoples. Okay, that they choose to Nelson Mandela, on which date 10 May 1994 he took the oath. Okay, and up to which year he ruled over the South Africa? 1999. Right? So, beta. Now, the fourth question: what does courage means to Mandela? Courage. What do you mean by courage? Not whatever you are understanding. This is not. But in the eyes of Nelson Mandela, what Nelson Mandela is saying about the courage, we have to discuss that only. Okay. And he's saying, what is courage? Courage was not the absence of fear, but the trump over it. Okay, victory over the fear, that is known as courage. Okay, the brave man is not one who does not feel afraid, but one who conquer that fear. He has written these lines into the book also, into the NCRT book also, that who has conquered that uh, fear, that person is only the courageous one, right? Now, the next question: which does he think is natural, to love or hate? So, in both, which we will choose? Love we will choose. He says again and again that love is the natural, love is the natural. We can't inject love into somebody's mind or. Okay, Mandela thought that love comes more natural to the human heart rather than hate. Right? So this is a one word answer only. You have to choose one. And then if you want to explain in a one line, then you can explain in a one line. Okay. Now the next one is oral comprehension. It is from the in our NCERT book. Headline is like this: oral comprehension. Now, what twin obligation that Mandela mentioned? I told you obligation means responsibilities. Right, that whether he will do the responsibility toward his family, toward his wife, toward his son, sorry, toward his parents, etc., etc. Or the second obligation, second responsibility, two obligations that every man has in the life. So, two obligations, each and every man are facing these obligations. Obligation to his family, to his parents, to his wife. So, to his family, parents, and to his wife and to children's wife and children's. Okay. Now, second obligation is he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country, his friends. Right. So all are the responsibilities of who? Of each and every people. Okay. Now the second question: what did being free mean to Mandela as a boy? So when he was a younger one, now, what is the meaning of him for the freedom, for just to get free with all each and everything? I told you that he won't just run into the fields around his house only. That is the only concept into his mind that this is the only freedom. But when he grows up, he finds that freedom means something else. Trusties, transitory freedom. Transitory freedom, what mean? Better artificial freedom. The basis and honorable freedom. Right? Now, answer is like this: like any other kind. Sorry, like any other kid, Mandela felt freedom meant being happy, being merry, and enjoying the blissful life in his childhood years. Okay, just to be happy, just to get whatever you want. Okay, just to demand from your parents, and if they didn't give you that particular thing, then you will be feeling sad. It's not a freedom for you. Okay, however, when a young fellow becomes an adult, the antiques of childhood look transitory because all the childish activities are worthless. Why all the childish activities are worthless? From an adult's perspective, from the adult's point of view. Okay, perspective means from the adult's point of view. When a person becomes an adult, he learned to earn a livelihood and earn his own bread and butter. When he became adult one, he got to know just to make him more comfortable in life or just to fulfill him for his stomach. Okay. In such a scenario, he understands the basic and primitive freedom in his family and the society that he lives in. So, because he understands that he to know that this is the basic and already freedom for the family and for the society. Whoever is living into this scenario, into this country. Okay, they only want this kind of freedom. Now we will move forward. The next question is: does Mandela think the oppressor is free? Why or why not? You have to give the answer and yes and the no, and then you will explain also. Mandela does not feel that the oppressor is free because, beta, look one example. Oppressor oppressed. There are five words given, and you have to explain these two words only. Oppressor is the one who oppressed. Oppressed is one who was oppressed. Okay, so now oppressor is a here white people's. So if you think that the oppressors, beta, if you want to look somebody below from you, and if you are planning and plotting against somebody, then you are also considered as oppressor. And if you are having power, okay, and if you are trying to make that person annoy with each and everything, you are also busy to make him oppressed, right? Here Mandela does not feel that oppressor is free, like hated. What is locked behind the bars is like a victim of hatred. Okay, everybody hate the oppressor, right? Who is locked behind the bars of prejudices. And what are prejudices? Prejudice, sorry.